This is Redline. A $30 million anime with over 100,000 hand-drawn frames that took over 7 years to make and almost bankrupted its studio. And I want to compare that to a $16 million anime, a $8.5 million anime, and more to see if budget really matters when making an anime, starting all the way with this $1 show, Kentoshi. Kentoshi is so ass, Meg the Stallion is jealous. Like, there's bad anime and then there's bad anime. The plot is what you get when you order Rocky from Wish and Temu. Without ever even watching this anime, you've already seen everything it has to offer at least 5 times. Hell, half the scenes are just real life stock footage of like New York City with some sound effects. And nah, not just a quick little establishing shot either. I look away for a few minutes to text someone back, look back up at the screen, and I'm still looking at Burger King from the 90s for another 5 minutes. The soundtrack is just a stock music library too. It's just, this is not anime. There's hardly any animation even here. Most of the shit you get is slow zoom in, slow zoom out. Okay, now pan to the left. When it's not that, it's the same frame with a different background 100 times. Making editing this video and remembering what clips I already used fucking impossible. It's like they're trying to sell the illusion of making an anime to a Make-A-Wish kid. I said it was like Rocky, so you would think. Okay, it's a boxing anime. Surely they animated the actual boxing parts. No, most of the fights look like this. And the ones that don't, you just get the same looping animation in 5 FPS for 30 seconds, and then maybe, possibly, it'll change when a big hit happens. The best animated thing in the whole show, and I'm being so serious when I say, if you have epilepsy or are in any way prone to seizures, please look away. I don't think this is safe for you. Is this dance scene, and if you're still with me and not drooling out of the mouth because of all the flashing, look at the way they transition out of it. Bro, like, what are we doing? I can't suffer through this anymore. Luckily, I get to cleanse my eyes with the $30 million anime later. But first, let's tap into a real boxing anime. Hajim no Ippo. You're a real one if you've seen this show. But if you didn't know, the anime industry got production costs locked up like the Krabby Patty secret formula. We never get to see it, which is why most of the shows after this are movies. But according to 2 reports, one, an investigation by the Media Development Research Institute that reported the average anime episode costs about $145,000 to make in 2010. And 2, anime veterans Masamune Sakaki and Takayuki Nagatani said their anime costs around 2 million yen for a 13 episode season, or 4 million yen for 24 episodes, around $150,000 per episode in 2015. Now this episode of Hajime no Ippo I'm about to show you came out in 2002, but assuming production costs didn't change that much, I'm gonna play it safe and call this a $100,000 anime. Damn! Fellas, we might need to hit a lick. But first, let's break down one of the best fights from Hajime no Ippo to see why it costs so much. This fight's been going the distance, and Sendo's finally on the ropes. But wait, what's that look in his eyes? He's planning something. He's summoning the rest of the energy he has left in his soul for one final uppercut. Counter! Hit him with the feint. Oh no, we got him again. Counter! Everybody in the building, raise your hands. He got the meter. It's time to cash out. Level 3, Dempsey roll. Doesn't take some kind of animation genius to see why Ippo looks so much better than Kentoshi. I'm not even gonna get into the technical stuff yet. For one, you have an actual original soundtrack and sound effects and professional voice actors. This is what Kentoshi sounded like. Here's what the fight you just watched from Ippo actually sounds like. You see the difference? You hear the difference? You feel the difference. No wonder you can buy Kitoshi for 8 cents. Then we get to the animation and you have actual motion. Stuff isn't moving in 5 frames per second, and the drawings. The characters actually feel the impact of the punches. Look at Sendo's face right here. He's getting fucked up. Compared to Kintoshi, Ippo looks like a gift from the gods. Even compared to other anime of its time, it looks really good. But it came out in 2002. That was 22 years ago. Anime has advanced so far since then, and I got the perfect movie to show that off. Dragon Ball Super Broly, estimated budget $8.5 million. We playing with the big boys now. The main difference between Broly and Ippo isn't just the budget though, it's when it was released. Anime went through a whole digital revolution in the time between 2002 and 2019. When I say digital and anime in the same sentence, one phrase probably comes to mind: CGI. Immediately, images start flashing in your mind. Oh no, please, oh no, somebody save me, the horror! I can't blame you. A few years ago, if you told me my favorite show was gonna be CGI, I would have been on my hands and knees begging, pleading, asking why the world hates me so much. But times are changing. We've been through wave after wave after wave of webgen animators like Makoto Shinkai, Ryu Nakayama, and so many more completely flipping the industry on its head and bringing their own techniques and style. Entire shows like Dorohedoro or anything that Studio Orange does, showing that, hey, we can make this 3D shit look good now. And that energy extends right into the Broly movie. Let's break down the fight. So, Son Goku, the pride of Mexico, is warming up. He got the whole country dancing with him right now. You know they love him down there. He takes the signature pose and they're off. This is one of very few anime movies I actually went to see live in the theater, and this moment had the whole crowd bumping. But wait, did you notice that? I'm talking about the camera. Scamboli said it best. There's nothing wrong with 2D animation, but the further back you go, you realize that most shows are just angle, okay, angle. The biggest hit of the fight will happen, and then it'll immediately cut away to show the crowd going, ooh, ah. Damn, we really here right now? Cause I wanted some android pussy. Now a hit will happen and we'll just keep getting more choreography. It's a lot more common to see the camera ripping through the skies and being thrown all around a scene. That gives the characters presence. You can see and track where the characters are while the fight is happening, and you can feel the scale and the stakes. It's because of digital animation and CGI that we get to see stuff like this a lot more. It's a lot easier and more efficient to move a camera around a 3D environment than it is to hand draw all of those angles and bring it all together in a way that feels cohesive. We've gotten so good at using and mixing the technology that it's hard to even tell when it's being used. I'm not 100% sure, but that definitely looks like a CGI ice mountain to me. And there's moments in this movie where they even switch the characters between 2D and 3D, and it doesn't look like complete dog shit. It makes it so they can do this cool first person sequence, and it doesn't take 85 billion years to make. It's just, God, we've come such a long way since Berserk. I'm so proud. But you can't talk about 3D animation and CGI in anime without talking about one show and one studio. Demon Slayer Mugen Train, an estimated $16 million movie by none other than Ufotable. You've seen the memes. Demon Slayer has animation that carries its story. Fate Unlimited budget works. You got the CEO of the company out here trying to evade taxes. Look, I'm a dumbass. I don't know a lot of stuff, but one thing I do know is that you don't fuck with the IRS in any country. They got Al Capone. You don't think they could get you? In his own words, he didn't spend any of the money and was just saving it in case the company went through hard times later. But if you had unlimited budget, why would you need to do that? What's the truth behind Ufotable's anime looking so gorgeous? The truth is that they are masters of CGI and digital effects, arguably the best in the game, or at least the best at blending it with 2D. A lot of the times they will model scenes completely in 3D as a reference and then go back and animate over them. They are also masters of compositing. Compositing is basically everything that happens in animation after the actual animation is done. When you take the base and slap that extra polish on it to really bring it to life. And nobody does it better than Ufotable and Demon Slayer. look at the way Rengoku is trying to fold Asuka's clothes while he's still in them, and realize that the shit that really makes these scenes look good probably isn't just the 2D animation, but the lighting and kaleidoscopic explosions of color and the visual effects. Then when Ufotable wants to, they call in Nozomu Abe and you get the best of both worlds, and you can't help but come a little bit. Ufotable is able to do this because unlike most studios, they have a fully salaried staff and have been doing animation this way for a long time. The CEO wasn't just ducking taxes for no reason. And this style is probably the future of big budget anime in general, but what if I told you that the most expensive anime on this list, the $30 million anime that you've all been waiting for, uses none of it? Redline, we talked about the important stuff already. 100,000 hand-drawn frames, 7 years of development before this movie hit the screen, and no CGI at all. $30 million of passion and love poured into this film. All of that combines to create this experience that's just crack. Redline is not like anything you've ever seen before. This movie is for people where
violence is the only thing that gets me hot anymore.
Hey, somebody come get their mama, but she's not lying. There's not a whole lot of at least obvious story here. It's entirely focused on the action and the visuals, but goddamn it, it's better for it. You can tell there was a lot of passion and care poured into crafting this style with these huge milky black shadows and these insane alien character designs that are just so unique and memorable. These little motherfuckers taking a fat rip of the hookah on screen for like 2 seconds, but I still remembered them by the end of the movie, and so many others. Look at the way this guy is stanced up, like come on. The animators were having so much fun with these characters and these environments and this world, and it really shows in the end product. The world feels lived in, and just like Redline is one event that's happening here instead of something this entire thing was crafted around. But where Redline really separates itself is the action. I've never seen anime that's able to capture speed and force this well. These incredibly over-exaggerated perspectives and everything having so much resistance and impact and bounce to it, it's exhilarating. The races just build and build and build on that insanity, creating this visual overload where it's almost too much to take in, and then silence. And that contrast brings out everything this movie has to offer. And even with how insane it is because of that care poured into crafting the style, nothing ever feels like it's out of place or doesn't fit. Visually, Redline is a masterpiece, but it's the same masterpiece that people didn't go watch and that failed to make the money back that was poured into it and brought Madhouse to the brink of death. Of course, that doesn't mean it wasn't worth making, but it leaves you to wonder, does budget really have any impact on anime? I mean, of course it matters a little bit. With more money, you can maybe hire better people and so on, but let's try something. Between Redline, Mugen Train, and Broly, comment down below which one has your favorite animation. If I had to guess, Redline will get the least comments out of these three, and none of them will be unanimous. That doesn't mean Redline looks bad, but art is subjective and stylistic. Redline wouldn't look the way it does if it wasn't for Takeshi Koike spearheading those decisions. The Broly movie wouldn't have the style it did if it wasn't for the character art by Naohiro Shintani or animation by Yuya Takahashi, and Demon Slayer wouldn't have animation that carries its story without Akira Matsuhima, Masayuki Kunihiro, and Nozomu Abe leading the way. The talent behind the show and stuff like production scheduling is way more important than the budget. The first season of One Punch Man didn't have a larger budget than every other anime when it aired, but what makes it have animation that stands the test of time is the passion that was poured into it and the people who wanted to work on it. So whether it was the music, the animation, or the voice acting, the people responsible for bringing your favorite manga to life and creating those special moments that make us all anime fans are the important ones. Find them, follow them, cherish them, and check out some of the other work they do. They probably have more than one thing up their sleeve.